What's going on, guys? Back here with another video, and today we'll be going over the 2020 Denali that I asked you guys if you wanted to see in my last video. A couple people asked for that, so here you go. Might as well knock this one out too, so you guys can get an overview of what I've done to this so far. All right, guys. So here is my 2020 Denali Duramax. Beautiful truck. I absolutely love this thing, and I haven't done too much to it. Pretty much just made it a super clean daily truck. This is my daily driver. Use it for work, although it doesn't really look like it. Some people don't believe me, but I do use it for work. I actually do pull trailers with this thing when I need to, which is a big reason I don't have stretch tires on it like a lot of people thought I would do when I first bought 2414s. Go to job sites with it. It actually is used daily. This truck, there's not nearly as much done as the last video of the blue one, which really just has a lot more performance-based stuff done to that. This one is pretty much, it's pretty similar on the outside as far as the aesthetic mods go. So to start, this truck from the factory, if you go back on my Instagram and see when I first posted it, absolutely disgusting with how much black plastic they throw on these things, which to me, when you have a top tier truck like a Denali, should not come looking like a work truck. So as far as paint match goes, soon after getting the truck, that's the first thing I did. And this was chrome from the factory. I had this painted to match. Like anybody that knows a GMC, they come red, so I had this painted as well. As far as the rest of the front, I did not paint anything else. Now, very soon here, I'm gonna get a couple more things painted on the truck, which I'll kind of mention as I go around the truck looking at different things. This included this black plastic here around the fog light. I'm gonna get this painted, as well as the bottom valence here. I'm gonna paint this soon. I did also paint the fender flares, which are absolutely massive. You can see how tall they are. So I had those painted to match as well because they were black from the factory. These here, as many people know with these new trucks, these are orange from the factory and they light up as like a running light, like an orange amber light, which is absolutely disgusting. I just paint over the factory lens here, and when you pop these out on the back where it plugs in, like straight behind my finger here, I just unplugged it. I did that on all four corners. No engine codes, no issues, nothing. They don't come on, which kind of pretty much just deletes this whole light here, which I'm happy with. Then up here we have the signature Duramax emblem here, which I just left this OEM. I left the chrome OEM. This is black from the factory. I had this painted as well. Moving on to the mirrors. The mirrors are also fully painted. These were fully disassembled and painted. And after these were put back on the truck, I took them back apart and put these switchbacks in it, which are also painted. These were done by Fast Headlights. So that's pretty much a set of OEM factory cab lights that are separated. Take out the orange LED that's in there, put in a white LED, seal them back up and paint around them so they're not all completely black on top of the roof, and pretty much just taped off where the light comes through. Looks super clean. Also have my boy Jack's polished enthusiast bullet antenna. On the side of the truck here, this is pretty much all factory, all OEM. Now I did paint around this whole step here for the bed. This is all painted as well, which pretty much all this is all black from the factory. So I had that all smooth and painted. This I left black, but as you guys can see, I do not have a toolbox. And this does not open up here, so I have absolutely no need for it. So I am going to get this painted as well here pretty soon. And then, likewise on all four corners, these are all painted. The back bumper, this piece here is black from the factory. I had this painted. I left this black because I do step on this sometimes. Now, when this goes back to get the front painted with the other couple pieces, I am going to paint this and this, so it'll be completely whited out. Pretty much how I wanted it from the get-go, but I really didn't know in the beginning how much I was actually going to be using this step or this here. I have never stepped here. I sometimes use this, but really this truck is not lifted all that high. It's a 4-inch lift, which I'll go over in a second when I get to the suspension part. But when I first painted this, I didn't know what size lift I was going to do. So I didn't want to put a huge lift on it, paint this, and then have a hard time getting up to the bed. As I mentioned, I do use it for work. So I didn't paint this, but now I think I'm going to. Now moving on to the taillights, this is something my buddy Rob did, which came out beautiful, and he actually did these for his own truck. After he did them, he sent me pictures. I was like, dude, I need a set for Daytona, which was, towards the end of last year, which he didn't get around to doing them in time, so he actually sold me the ones off his truck. I then gave him my OEM tails, and I bought these directly off his. Right here, this is all smoked, and this was all painted white here. And this white line here separates your brake light and your running light, which are on either side of this white here, and then the borders are painted white also. That about does it for all the paint match. The only other thing I have not mentioned, I believe, so far in this video that I'm gonna get painted is a third brake light. So once this is all done, this will all be white, and then the clear will be left alone. So it'll just be all white and clear, no more red, which I really need to do because it kind of irritates me that that's dark red up there, and the taillights back here, there's no red. So I need to get rid of that. Alrighty guys, so as far as the suspension here, There are a couple, you know, OEM pieces that are powder coated, as well as the full lift, which it is kind of a mix here of brands, such as it's a 4-inch CST lift, which my goal here was to get the level look on the truck, but have the control arms laying flat like they are right now to retain that perfect ride quality. I did not want to crank the keys up, resulting in a control arm that was drooping really hard and bouncing off the bump stop and riding terrible. So it's a CST 4-inch lift. I did do the Cognito control arms. I prefer those. CST has come out with really nice control arms since then, but they were not out when I bought, you know, this kit. However, I've always been a fan of the Cognito arms. I put them on every single truck, and I think I'll continue to do so. I've never had a problem with them. And that is a factory sway bar powder coated. So CST does offer shocks that look just like this, but the reason I went with FTS, I want to do something different, which in the back, I mean, as you guys know, with a 4-inch lift, you pretty much just do a block. So there's not much going on back here as far as the lift goes. I just powder coat the U-bolts. That's about it for the back, and there's a lift block underneath there. On the back, I didn't want this to just be an open wheel well and have all the, you know, party in the front and nothing, just business in the back. So I also wanted the party in the back. I went through FTS, I contacted them. They were able to get me a longer braided hose on this shock here, which runs all the way around here for the reservoir, which I just wanted to give that reservoir look out back and up front. And going through FTS gave me those beautiful billet clamps there that hold the resi to the actual mount. And that mount there is powder coated white, you know, which I try to match the paint on the truck as best as possible. It is a pearl white powder. That's directly mounted to the frame, which then holds that resi. So that did leave me with having a CST lift kit, Cognito control arms, FTS shocks, and FTS resi mounts, front and back. And that's about it. But really, it is a super clean look. So I knew when I did this lift, something that people don't really look out for is when they look for lifts, you see brands that offer the different spindle that of course raises the location where the control arm mounts to give you that lift when you drop your whole front differential down. So with that, I don't like the ones that look very textured when you powder coat them. So with CST, this is actually tubular metal. So when you powder coat it, it's nice and smooth. It matches the control arms, the resi mounts, your sway bar, all that, so it all matches. When you have different textured metals, the powder coat doesn't lay the same, it looks different. I didn't want that, which is kind of a small reason why to go with CST. In all facets, I pretty much got everything I wanted. I wanted the look of the CST lift, the look of the Cognito control arms, and the look of these FTS shocks. So it all came together beautifully. But no, you cannot buy all of this as one kit somewhere. As far as the stock headlights, most people look at these and think I did nothing to them. The only thing I did was take the front lens off, swap out the orange lens here for a clear lens, and pretty much where the little orange LED is there, just disconnected that so it doesn't come on anymore. So pretty much it's just an OEM headlight with the clear lens here, which gives that whole OEM plus look, which I go for on all the trucks. You know, nothing too crazy, nothing too gaudy. As far as the wheels here, these are 24x14 specialty forged SF 047s, triple finish with a brushed face, polished lip, and I do also have brushed billet caps that are floaters. Also running them on 33x14 5 Fury tires. This truck also is sporting the True Spike lug nuts, just like I have on the other truck, which comes with the, you know, with the billet spike caps here, the sleeves that cover up the lug nuts. So you see no lug nuts, and it kind of fills in this hole a lot better. I like these a lot better than the cheaper, you know, $100 set of spike lug nuts, which start chipping, and you know, every time you put a socket around it, it chips it. So you'll never see that with these lug nuts. I also have a spiked billet valve stem cap, and of course, just one time for the one time with the floaters. How sick is that? Now I did add a set of amp steps on this truck. The 21 Plus does come with factory running boards on a Denali if it's optioned with it. Of course, this was on an option on this truck. I hate the OEM running boards. I took those off like the first day I had the truck and had to get the amps. So nice. I never thought I would want to spend over $1,500 on a set of steps again to get into a truck. It just seems absurd to me. But here we are. I love them. Now that I've finally spent the coin on them, I would get them on every truck if I ever lifted it that needed them. They are well worth it. So for most of you that don't know, I do live in Florida, South Florida to be exact, and it is hot here, so already sweating. Let me get the air on in. Turn on the AC seats. That is a must for any truck in South Florida. So I have just crossed 17,000 miles. It is a 2020. I've had the truck for almost 2 years now. So and I don't drive it too often. I mean, I do drive it every day, but I don't take it on road trips or anything, or drive it, 8 hours a day. So the miles to me for 2020, they're not high. Of course they're not super low, but to me it's on the lower side of what most 2020s are nowadays. I do have an edge monitor right here as well as CTS3. Now this is a mount from D1 Concepts. Pretty much just take off the plastic cover here and you take the bolt out. They send you a longer through bolt here to hold this on. You just put this in its place. It wraps right around the pillar here and holds your edge monitor here, which is absolutely perfect. Now, the one thing I have not mentioned in this video yet is that yes, this truck is deleted. I do have a polished 5-inch exhaust on it. I have tuning from Looney Tunes, from the Cartoon Network. Of course, I can't talk about whose tunes I have, just for video purposes. This is EPA certified, friendly. It has the, it is deleted, but I was able to retain all of the factory components on the truck. So I just polished the stock exhaust, and somehow I was able to make it sound good and gain 200 horsepower. So I won't really go into that. I did delete this thing at right around 3,000 miles, and I just showed you I'm just past 17 now. This is on the race tune, the 200 horse tune. I believe it's 220 to be exact, but whatever, it's a 200 horse tune, and this thing rides out. A lot of people wonder how it's held up, and of course I was a little worried getting rid of that warranty and not knowing what was going to happen. So whenever you take a truck that's a couple thousand miles on it, it's 80 plus grand off the lot, it is kind of worrisome, but I can say that I have zero regrets. Now, I did not record, like I mentioned in the last video, anything on this truck. I did actually buy all the programming and everything for my truck and my dad's truck, which I got for him for a Christmas present, not this last Christmas, but the Christmas before. Shortly after, we actually deleted his truck first, which went perfect, and loaded the 150 horse tune in that. He enjoyed it. He put 15,000 miles on it like that. And if any of you follow me on Instagram, the 22 Platinum I picked up, that's now his truck, and he sold his High Country. So he's now driving, a lifted 22 Platinum, which is stock for now. It's not deleted yet. And this one I did delete shortly afterwards. So it was like a month after. Like I mentioned, zero problems. I have not had one hiccup. Not one air light on the dash, not one weird thing with the transmission, nothing weird motor-wise. I mean, it's literally been flawless, like it came from the factory this way, and I absolutely love it. And I really don't know, moving forward with these new trucks coming out, if you'll be able to tune them, and if you can't, I honestly don't know if I'll be able to sell this thing. I really don't want to get a new truck that you can't tune. It just really downplays the driving experience, driving a diesel that sounds like a Prius. I really just have a hard time doing it. So I am blessed, of course, to have a 2020 that's deleted, and I'm absolutely in love with it. And that pretty much goes over everything that's done to this truck. I have nothing powder coated under the hood, so there's no point in me really popping the hood, and it really just has an exhaust fan out the back. So this was a pretty quick review. Like I mentioned in the last video, I didn't do too much to this truck. I just did a couple tasteful mods that to me, made it the ultimate daily driver. And don't have a bunch of problems. I can still go through any drive-through. I can pretty much go anywhere. I have full turning radius. I'm not rubbing everywhere. I didn't have to cut a bunch of metal in the bumper. I didn't even space the bumper. And this thing is just flawless. The only thing I have going on right now is these damn Fury tires. I'll probably be swapping them out, but it just sucks because there's not a lot of options on the market. But I do feel they're kind of wearing, terrible. It's like somehow they're louder. They feel bumpier. But this is my first set of mud tires I've ever ran, and I've never been a fan of them, so we'll see what happens there. So what I'll do now is I'll take this thing down the street, kind of like I did with the last truck, and just let you guys see how it drives, how it rolls out, and how it sounds. guys, so there you go. You can see this thing rolls out. Yeah, she rolls out. She rolls out really well for just being tuned. Compared to the previous tune trucks I've been in on race tunes, this thing absolutely rides out. It should be making around 600 wheel, you know, I'd say probably, you know, give or take 20 horsepower, but she definitely has a lot more than an LML has. So any of you guys that are looking for like a 15 to 19 body style, if you're looking to stay relatively minimal as far as mods go, performance wise, I would go 17 to 19 all day long. The same body style, but you get the better L5P power plant. Yes, it does cost more to delete. You know, for the same money, you can delete an LML and do, you know, the CP3 swap and all the good stuff, and that would cost you pretty much the same as it would to just delete an L5P. But when you delete an L5P, you're already there. You know, you already have, you know, more air than an LML turbo can make. So someone with an LML would have to drop in a turbo, do a CP3 swap, tune it, and then they're on the level, you know, of the L5P. Now they both have the same trans, you know, until you get to the 2020. The 2020 Plus, you know, if that's also something you're looking for, that's the ultimate Mac Daddy in my opinion, if you're looking to just have a deleted truck. If you're not looking to do anything extra, you just want a reliable, quick truck, I think the strongest trans out right now that runs the best, even without this one having trans tuning, is going to be the 2020 Plus. But if you're a guy that, you know, has more plans, kind of like what I did with the blue truck, you know, the LML is going to be the biggest platform you can do that with. There's the most stuff on the market, most options. The 17 and 19, you know, is definitely a better power plant. You don't need to build motors fast, you know, and you can also do a built trans in those trucks. So, you know, it just depends on what you're going for. I mean, an LML to even this truck here, there's, you know, differences in my opinion. Depending on your goals, it would kind of, you know, determine which one you should go with. I have a lot of people message me and say, hey, you know, which one would you go with? Or do you like the L5P more or the LML? And obviously that's a very hard question to answer, because although I absolutely love this truck, you know, the color being pearl white, which is a color I always wanted on a Duramax, and they finally came out with them in 2017, which I was eyeballing when I had my silver one. You know, I was finally able to get the color I wanted on this truck. I was finally able to do, you know, this color with the brush face wheels, which I really wanted to do, and then delete it. And of course, it looks amazing. The transmission runs perfect. So when you ask me that question of which one do I like more, in my opinion, it's very hard to tell. For a daily driver, obviously this truck. For the weekend warrior, the blue truck, of course, it's twice as fast as this truck, you know. But when you take into consideration someone that's looking for a truck as a daily driver truck, and you're looking at a stock LML or a stock L5P, whether it be a 17 plus or, you know, 20 plus body style, I would go with the L5P all day long. Whichever one you can get, the newest one you can get is what I would go with. I just feel like they're getting better and better and better as time goes on, and just deleted versus deleted in all three platforms. The L5P is just king in my opinion. Much better motor, they run better, you know, and if you can swing a 17 and 19 and you want that daily driver, but just a little more than an LML can handle, and you just put the big tune in that 17 and 19 and you throw in a really fab 750 trans, you're golden. You know, you're making 600 horse hard. It's right there. You don't have to worry about anything. You know, with the LML, you start pushing 650 plus, you have to start worrying about bottom end issues, and by then, if you're going to make 650 plus, you're either going to be compounded or, you know, a big single. So if you kind of want to get around all that, just get that L5P. I know I bounced around like 15 different ways answering that question, but a lot of people ask me that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys like this truck and seeing this video. Yeah, it's overall a pretty simple build, but I believe it came out perfect. I absolutely love the truck. I've had it, like I said, for almost 2 years now, and I have not gotten bored with it whatsoever. So if you guys are finding yourself getting bored of a vehicle that you build, and, you know, like, I'm not continually adding things to this truck, so usually I would then get bored at that point. But this truck, I still love, and I think, you know, if I got rid of it, what would I get next? And in the current market, there's nothing. I don't want a 22 Platinum over this. I don't want a mega cab over this because of the trans issues and how much of a dog they are until you put a bunch of money into them. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever. I am filming this on Easter, so happy Easter. This video will probably be out, you know, obviously a couple days after Easter, but take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you'd like to see on the next video. Maybe I can get the blue truck out and, you know, get some better footage of that thing running on the street. By then, I should have the drive shaft in it. Maybe I can do some 4-wheel drive launches. Just let me know what you guys want to see. Take it easy, guys. See you in the next one.